ladies and gentlemen, it is tier list time. The segment that everybody apparently really likes. I don't know why. But you know what? Doing a tier list is pretty good. I've got to admit, this is like a guilty pleasure of mine, is doing a tier list. It's oddly satisfying. But here we are. Here we are. So, I should say some of the games are returning games. Some of the games are games we haven't even finished yet. I'm looking at you, Alan. And some of them are games that we might have played once that were part of like a Jingle Jam stream or like a Christmas thing or a Halloween thing. So please bear this in mind. I'll disclose which ones we've actually fully played through as we're playing it. But yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it. So, here we are. These are the games. We played a lot of games this year, guys. Some of this includes various DLCs and updates for games that we've played. So that's why a few things show up multiple times, if you're wondering. I have manually had to order this because I forgot to name all of these individually on my computer. So I spent a little while trying to remember what the order was for the games we've played. but it's fine. It's all good. But awesome. So our categories are Game of the Year. Obviously, multiple games can fit into the Game of the Year category, but there will only be one. And tomorrow in the WWE, you'll also see a separate decision made by the Sin Bin Wrestling Federation, on which game actually won Game of the Year. But for now, let's get into it. So the first game we finished was Mother 3. Now this was a game that we started last year. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys. This might actually win because it's my favorite game of all time. I feel like it's kind of unfair that it's come back. But man, what a good game. I cannot stress, if you have the means to play it, please go and play it. If you like Undertale at all, you will love Mother 3. It's so good. It's so good. It's very dark for a Nintendo game. You need a fan translation to play it because it's only in Japanese, but it's so good. I love turn-based RPGs. This is the game. This and Final Fantasy VII are the sole reason I like JRPGs as much as I do. I love it. It's so good. I could go on a 30 to 40 minute, not rant necessarily, but a 30 to 40 minute like public I can't even say the word declaration of like how much I love this game. But yeah, it means so much to me. It's one of those. It means a lot. I'm gonna try and hold back. I feel like I'm doing Baldur's Gate 3 a bit of a disservice by following up with that, but I think Baldur's Gate 3 is the only game in homemade water. That's right. That's what we called our snack of choice. That's right. Yeah. So homemade water, also known as Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, what? Baldur's Gate 3. What a fucking game. This is the only game in like the last, I want to say, couple of years that's really, really wowed me, to be honest with you. Like, there's been a lot of good games in the last few years, but this is the only one that's actually made it into my like top 5 category. Like, obviously Tears of the Kingdom makes it into the top 10 for me. The top 5 is very hard to crack with me. Baldur's Peak, I agree. Baldur's Gate, if Mother 3 wasn't on this list, Baldur's Gate would win Game of the Year without a doubt. So, you know what, for the sake of streaming, I will say that because this was a first playthrough as well on the stream, I will give Baldur's Gate the Game of the Year purely on that merit. Baldur's Goat, exactly. It's so good. If anybody likes D&D or fantasy stuff or turn-based, I don't know if I call it an isometric RPG, but turn-based RPGs that use a little bit more like battle mapping and things like that. It's so good. It's so good. It's like, it has no reason being as good as it is. But it's a great game. I love it. It's so good. So good. Not so good though. We have Fly Simulator. Now, this game was ass. And not in a good way. Oh yeah, by the way, the worst category is Coronation Street and the mystery of the missing hotpot recipe. We'll get to that one quite a bit later. I think it's like all the way down here. I think this might be on par with that though. Like Fly Simulator was pretty fucking bad. I'm gonna put it in here for now. For anyone that missed it, you're playing as a like restaurant guy, and you're trying to serve customers while there are flies coming in, and you have to try and get rid of them while like serving pizza. It uses a bunch of Unity assets. It's very, very half-baked. Just like the food that you got from this restaurant. So I'm gonna put it in here. And that's that. That's that. Snail Simulator. Now, we did a 24-hour stream of this not that long ago. I think before that stream, that would have gone in here, to be honest with you. I think that genuinely would have gone in there. Purely because I thought it was a fun little game. I had no idea what was going on, but I had a good time. I met a little friend in there the first time we played it. It was like Journey. It was great. But that was it. You know, I'd say it was probably just decent. But after playing it for 24 hours, seeing what else the game actually had to offer, and knowing how lovely the community is and how pure the intentions of like the developer and everything were, I think that maybe the snail sickness has kicked in. The snickness, if you will. I think I'm going to put this in like good. Because I think there's a lot of game there. Obviously, it's not to be taken seriously. I hope people understand as well. I'm not a game critic. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just some guy with bad opinions. But Snail Simulator, actually pretty good. It's fun with friends. I'm sure anybody that played it with me will agree that there's actually a lot more to it than you'd think. Is it a game of the year? Definitely not. But it's you know, the fact it's made by one developer, and you know, it's got a very caring community. I think that says a lot about an MMO, and I give it a lot of respect for that. So it goes there. Goes there. Tome now, or Toem. I still don't actually know how to say the name of this game. I feel really bad. Tome is beautiful as a game. I think as an indie game, that game has so much I guess individuality in the way it's played. Obviously it has similarities to things like Fez in terms of its like perspective play, and how you articulate the camera, and how you would go about solving puzzles and bits like that. But its visual style mixed with how you interact with the world and the humor within the world as well, and the gameplay feeling just fun and very balanced. So good. I'm really looking forward to playing the second game. We will definitely be streaming it at some point. But what a great game. I'm giving it a great. And also they provided a free DLC. Just for saying thank you for the game doing well, which I think is a lovely token from a very, very kind and talented development team. So big love to them. I highly recommend it if you like the look of it. Or go check out the playthrough if you've already played it and you're intrigued. It's very cool. Very, very good. It was almost a 9 out of 10. So there are sort of like numbers applied to these in my head, but I don't really like using number scoring because I feel like it's a very, very hard definitive thing as opposed to like a word, which I feel like has a lot less like, obviously there's still a parameter around the word great, but then you could say it's not as great as this, as opposed to everything being given a 6 and therefore it's seen as equal. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe people think I'm weird for saying that. But yeah. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Now. Firstly, this is how we met Pedro. Pedro, now a lovely friend at the stream, my buddy. JustKill made us aware of this game. JustKill voted for it. What a game. What a game. A bit like Mother 3. It's a game that's very, very heavily reliant on its like fandom to help it survive. and to help present it to people who have never played it before and give them the most like optimal experience possible, right? I think that without that fan patch, I'm gonna be very honest with people right now. I don't think I would have enjoyed myself anywhere near as much as I did. We had very little in the way of crashing. We had very little in the way of problems. Thank you, Jaskill. There we go. Praise Jaskill. And we had very little in the way of, I guess, like an imbalance of feeling a certain, like, dipping quality with the game. And the world of darkness in general that Vampire the Masquerade is based in is so interesting. I had a absolute hoot of a time looking into it, like, after the fact. Even just learning things on the fly within the world itself is very cool. And from a game that came out in 2004, there's a lot of, like, I mean, obviously social commentary was in games before then, but I feel like this game had a lot more legs than some of its, like, competitors in that field at the time. I just think that the game itself is limited by its engine, and also some very weird misbalancing towards the end of the game. All I will say, as a game, this game is not perfect. There are elements of this game that I got very frustrated with, and I've forgotten the name of the lady, but the lady that turns into a slug near the end of the game. That whole segment, I don't care what people tell me about how it's just about getting good. I do not have a Dark Souls mentality as a player of a game. That whole segment was ass, and a lot of the end game felt very rushed. But overall, I was very, very, very happy with my ending. I think the game overall is a gem that people need to go and play for themselves. And again, a bit like Mother 3, I think that this game was very hard done by. Just due to, like, its, like, unavailability to more people. Especially if you buy the Steam version now, it doesn't even work for most people. Like, you need to patch it to even get it to work, which I think is awful from Steam. So if you want to play this game, my biggest recommendation is buy it through GOG. But also, if you're looking into getting to the World of Darkness, this is the best place to start, in my opinion. I feel like other people will say differently that might be more experienced. I think, from my own playthrough, I like this game so much that it's made me intrigued about the world itself. I don't know if I'll go and play more of the games necessarily, but the actual world and the world building and the characters and the social constructs around, like, the vampire clans and stuff like that, very cool. If you're wondering why this game's getting so much more Dave Ramble time as well, by the way, this game, along with Baldur's Gate 3, were probably our biggest streamed games this year. Like, almost certainly, right? So yeah, it's with that. I think because of that, and people might be a bit upset it doesn't quite make it into here, I think because of a few hiccups towards the end, it's the very, very, very highest end of great. I don't think I would put it favourably next to these two, but I did think it was a really great game. Again, if there were a few changes and it wasn't rushed and the engine was a bit better, it could have been a game of the year. But I think there are a few things limiting this game for me to stop it from getting into that higher, like, echelon, that higher tier. But it gets a very high, like, great, like, very great, or maybe even greatest within great. But I don't know if it gets up here. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm very sorry, Vampire the Masquerade fans. I feel like I've done you dirty by doing that, but I think, yeah, for me, a solid great. And that's it. Next up we have Venba. I should also announce Venba will not be featuring in the WWE wrestling tournament tomorrow, because this game's too cute, and I feel bad about putting any of its characters in a wrestling ring. So Venba will not be taking part. I will instead find a way to incorporate it somehow, whether it's just a poster. That's like, because you know, like fans can hold up posters in the ring and stuff like that. I might do that. We'll wait and see. Anyway, so Vember, what a amazing game. I thought that learning about the it's honestly very rare for me to play a game like this in general. But I think learning all of the different cultural ties of the characters within this game and the food that they made as well, and the way that the puzzles were kind of food related for constructing like the tools they would use to like within their kitchen to like, you know, make the meals they wanted to make. And also just this game being like a beautiful glorified cookbook at the end of it as well. It's something that I wouldn't usually play, like I say, but I had such a good time with it that I would honestly put it in great, I think. This game was really good. If you guys want something that's short as well, it's about 3 hours long, I think. This would count as part of the one stream wonders list now. Venba was very good. It was great even. It was great. So yeah. Vemba, very, very cool game. I'm sad I didn't play it when it came out, but it's very good. I'm glad I went back to it. Oh boy, okay, this is one that I'm not glad I went back to. I feel like I'm about to get a bunch of hate, so I need to have some Pepsi. I need to have a deep breath. We need to breathe. Oh, serenity now. Serenity now. This game's shit. Moving on. Next up no, I'm joking. The calming aura of Pepsi, exactly. No, so Super Mario Bros. For the NES. This is the first ever Mario Bros. This was the only forfeit game of the year where I wasn't able to beat this game legitimately. I hate to inform people that I suck at platformers, and I learnt that the hard way this year by playing Super Mario Bros. For the NES. So we beat the game, but I used save states for it, and a lot of people were very upset on YouTube about this, that I was using save states. And it got me, honestly, not upset, but it got me to a point where I was like, actually, you know what? I think they're right. I feel like if I saw a playthrough of this game, I'd want to watch somebody get better at a game and beat it through like the skill of actually learning how it's played, as opposed to just saves coming their way to the end. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a one stream wonder where we're not taking it as a serious playthrough, I don't think that's as bad, but this was like a 3 stream playthrough. So yeah, I think that's the only thing where this falls into play. It seemed to handle Donkey Kong Country pretty well. I think the thing with Donkey Kong Country was there were save points. I think I really struggle with NES games, and that's why I've put like a hard cap at SNES games and up. Where SNES games have save points in a lot of cases, and like checkpoints I can go to, and then at least I don't feel like I'm losing progress. But with Mario, if you die in that game, you have to completely restart. And that's a hell that I would never ever want to do ever again. I was just bad at it, and I understand why people were mad, so we then went on to do a forfeit game for it as a punishment, which I think is very valid and fair. As a game though, I mean, I've got to respect, I'll put it in decent, because like, as a game it's not bad. It's the first, it revolutionized like how platformers work, it revolutionized so much within the industry. Mario is obviously very iconic as a character, and I don't want to do the game a massive disservice, but I just don't think it's for me, you know. Again, anything NES era and older, I really cannot play these days. I tried to in the past, and I was less like annoyed by it, but yeah, they're rough. Like they are relentless games. I don't know. I'm just a baby. better not play Bubsy then. I feel like Bubsy might have checkpoints and saves though, right? At least. Right? Right, Pedro? But yeah, as you say though, J-Boogie, Donkey Kong Country, I'm pretty sure had save points on each like level. Like on each like overworld map that you could get to, so I think that's how we got through that one a bit better. I don't think I use save states for Donkey Kong Country, I could be wrong though. But yeah, anyway, that's that. Again, it's not a bad game, I'm just bad at it, and that's that really. Which is, it's very funny that we didn't beat that, but we did beat this. This is VVVVVVV. Or VVVVVV. This is a platformer where you can only platform by changing the direction of gravity, basically. And it's quite hard. We actually played... Sorry, it's not in Meh. That's just me putting it there. Yeah, we played this like alongside this one, and surprisingly, I was better at this than this, which is kind of funny. But I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. I've got to admit, I wasn't like super attached to the story at all. I've forgotten everything about it to the point where I couldn't tell you a single name of any of the characters. But I thought the gameplay was really good. It's also very, it's like I think it took me about 4 hours to beat it, maybe less than that. It was quite short, so if you want something that's short, but a bit of a challenge, I recommend it. I'm going to put it above Snail Simulator, I think, but only just. I'd say they're about equal, but I think it's a little bit better. Also, I should stress, the top of each category is like, this is the best out of the game of the year. So this is the best out of great, this is the best out of good. And then, I guess in the context of this, it will be the worst game is at the front, and then they gradually get better, as opposed to it starts good and gets bad. So yeah. Alright, next up, Flawbury and J-Boogie. And Just Kill if you're there. I just want to say to you three, this game was one of the funnest things I've done on stream with people. So thank you very much for like making me part of that as well. I had such a fun time playing this, it was lovely. I wish the technical hiccups weren't there, because fuck my life, getting this game to work would honestly, if we were going off a functionality standpoint, I'd put it in decent. But the game itself and the interactions playing it with you guys was so good. I think I might even put it like there. It's like, it was honestly a big highlight of my year playing that with you guys. It was so much fun. I don't think it's... I think Bloodlines takes the cake just purely because it's... it took up so much more of the year. But even with the problems, as you say, Flawbury, it was a lot of fun, and we got a lot of funny memes out of it. Just Kill has all of those voice recordings of us now that can be used against us at any time. It's good. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, I like Spudulix, exactly, right? Exactly. So yeah, I think that purely based on that, it's got to be pretty high up in great. And the game, honestly, the puzzles and stuff for that game are phenomenal. I forgot how good, like, Nintendo at their best really is Nintendo at their best. It's not often these days, but when they're good, they're really good, right? And that game, I feel like, fits into the category of being honestly great. Like, it's really good. Really good. Next up, we have Body Simulator, which I believe was voted... it was a short game that Flawbury suggested, I think. Body Simulator was a weird one for me. Not in the sense of it was a bad game, but I never quite knew tonally what it was trying to be at times. I think it was definitely trying to be Undertale inspired a lot. But there were elements of it as well that felt a little bit more like grey and a little bit more spooky. I think I spent a lot of the playthrough just trying to figure out what the game wants me as a player to be feeling. Because the ending we got as well was pretty... I think it was quite dark from what I remember. So yeah, we also only did one ending of this. I ended up going back and watching the other endings. I did try and play them off stream and record them like I said I would. but I honestly wasn't. So I did a full playthrough off stream, doing everything the guide told me, and then it still gave me the exact same ending I had previously. So I don't think I did something right, and I think at that point I was like, well, that's another 3 hours I'm not getting back. So I was a bit defeated, and I was like, you know what, I'll watch the other endings. After seeing the endings and like the other ways to play this game, I respect it quite a bit more. But I don't know, I don't think I'd put it anything above like a sort of mid good. You know what I mean? I'd say it's a little bit better than Snail Simulator. I think I enjoyed VVV more. I'd say it was a good game. It's definitely, it felt like a very perfect blend of like Pony Island meets Undertale meets like a bunch of other things. I think that might be the thing for me as well, is it doesn't really feel like it's got its own sense of identity. It feels like it's a lot of other things mixed into it. Which sometimes, for me at least, is a little bit, not jarring, but it can be a little bit like, I will constantly in my head be making a comparison to something else when I really should just be paying attention to the fact that this is its own thing. So yeah, I think that's on me as well, just to be clear. That's not on the game. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a good time. I had a fun time with it. And again, a very well-made game as well. I must say, it's a very well-made game. Give us the dirt. I'll give you a dirt. Alright, do you guys want to jump ahead quickly? I'll give you guys an oh no. I feel like there's a lot of Coronation Street tier ones, you know? Mr. Blobby's a no-no. I'll give you Mr. Blobby. That game is not so bad it fits into this category, but fucking hell, it's bad. Like, the Mr. Blobby game was brain rot intensified. We played it for 2 and a bit hours, and I think we only learned we were a third of the way through the game or something like that. I think J Boogie, was it you that did some digging, or was it someone else? I've forgotten who it was. But it's a reskin of another game, but they just used Mr. Blobby assets. I've forgotten, was it Just? It was either Just Kill or J Boogie, I think. But yeah, what a nightmare creature, and how dare he get a game? Can I just say as well, how dare Mr. Blobby sink their way into the gaming sphere somehow? Like, what did this monster do to make their way here? Honestly, I hate him. I hate Mr. Blobby so much. I can't wait for him to get decked tomorrow. But yeah, Mr. Blobby, the game, it gets an oh no because it's Mr. Blobby. The game itself isn't terrible, it's just kind of nothing. I think it's probably my biggest gripe with it. It doesn't really add anything to the industry, and it's also just a bit like, I know it's meant for kids, but it really does feel like a baby sensory video with like a game attached to it. Does that make sense? It's weird. Super Troll Islands, that's it, that's the one. Anyway, that's your oh no for now. That's your oh no for now. But yeah, we haven't had any meh yet either, but we'll definitely have a few meh to put in there. Chained Together. So I played this through with Callum, my dear friend Callum. Everybody knows, of course, for all of the wisdom they bestow on us frequently. Our dear friend Callum came on and played this with me. I don't know where I'm going to put it as a game, but playing it with Callum was a lot of fun. We surprisingly did okay. I think, if anything, games like this are a testament to see how well you collaborate with people. And weirdly, me and Callum did quite okay. So, I feel like we're on either a similar wavelength, or I've dragged Callum down to whatever level of stupid I am, to a point where we understand each other. So, Callum, I don't know if you will end up seeing this, but thank you for making that playthrough pretty fun. Chained Together as a game, though, it's one of these games that feels like a lot of I don't want to bash Unity assets, by the way. It's totally fine if you're making a game to like use assets that already exist. I don't want to sound like I'm gatekeeping a lot. But it felt like a game that just had a lot of pre-used assets thrown into it. It didn't really have like a sense of style that felt unique, I guess, is another thing as well for me. But the gameplay itself was fun. I thought it was not quite good. I'm gonna give it like the high end of decent. I know people will be furious to learn that Chained Together did better than Mario Bros, but that's the world we live in, folks. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. But yeah, it was fun. I recommend it. Speaking of recommend it, oh boy, Nights into Dreams. Oh boy, okay, so this game, I had only ever heard about. I think I played some like Sega racing game and Sega tennis game back in the day on like the Wii, and I think Knights might have been a playable character in that, because they had, it was sort of like a Smash Bros thing where they had like a bunch of Sega IPs like come together and be in like a racing game or a tennis game or whatever it was. And Knights is a weird game. I'm gonna be very honest with you. The gameplay itself is confusing as fuck, and even going back to it the other day for the Christmas event, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, it's not a very clear game in terms of how you're meant to play it. But in terms of its presentation, and the music, and what they're going for, and its originality, and this is also made by the people that made Sonic, by the way. Like, this is Sonic team that made this one. I think it's a really, really, really cool game. So I'm actually going to put it in great. I don't think it's as great as the rest of the games here, but I think it still deserves at the very least to be put into great, because it was really cool. I really liked it. And I'm looking forward to playing the one on the Wii one day, because I'm hoping that will make a better job of explaining how the fuck you're meant to play Nights into Dreams. Thankfully, we had somebody in chat at the time helping us with the mechanics, which is great. That also helps a lot, having people explain the lore and things, especially in games like this where the lore is sort of taking a backseat. But yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. Oh god, okay. Speaking of not very cool though, we have Gollum. Now Gollum, in fairness to Gollum, people are going to be very surprised by this. I don't know if I want to put it in Coronation Street tier, because like, it's not, there's a game there. It's not a very good game, but there is a game, right? We spent 17 hours playing Gollum. I cheered, I laughed, I cried. I got angry, I saw a spider that I didn't like. But fuck me, is it bad? Like, I cannot stress, like, I hope that the development team for this game come away from this like the No Man's Sky team, and they're like, okay, we cannot do this again. I think the dev team has been shut down, but I mean the people in the industry that are affected by this and obviously had to move on from their jobs or whatever. I hope they look at this as like not just them being written off. I hope they look at this and they're like, right, we need to improve, we need to do better, and hopefully we will not be confined to whatever awful shit was going on when this game was being made. Because Gollum was bad. So for the sake of argument, I'm going to put it at the very, very bottom of Oh No. Because you could tell that there was still a team there that did care about the source material. There was a team there that tried to make it unique enough from Lord of the Rings to a point where they didn't want it to just be like, obviously, it just links to the movies, right? They wanted to try and do their own thing with it, which is fine. I just don't know if Gollum quite did that well, though. Like, I just don't think that Gollum was the game that this team should have started with. I feel like they should have done like another project, and then who knows, maybe with more budget, more time, more people, this game could have had more legs. But there are some cool ideas in this game. It's just the delivery is absolutely abysmal, and that's all I will say. That's all I will say. Okay, right, I need some peps. I feel my voice going, and we have so many games to go. Oh my god, okay. Bear with me, guys. This might be a text-to-speech stream shortly. Alright, so Stardew Valley. So I don't think I can count the full game on this list for that. Because that would very easily be up here. But what I will say with Stardew Valley is we played it with Johnny and Callum, and then our friend Beanie joined the call uninvited, shouted arse grapes, and then didn't realise he was on the stream. So I want to shout out Beanie for doing that. But yeah, he then joined us as well and proceeded to troll me and Callum for the whole the whole stream. And it was a lot of fun, honestly. I had a good time. But yeah, I think that session, I'm gonna rate it purely off of that session, I think. I don't know though. I feel bad. You know what? No, for the sake of confusion, because I'll look back at this next year and I'll be like, why is Stardew Valley in like good or whatever? I think it was great. I love Stardew Valley. I recommend it wholeheartedly. If you like Harvest Moon, or you like even things like, I'd say there are some parallels between like it and even other survival crafting things like Minecraft to a very minimal extent, and Terraria. It's very good. I highly recommend it. And the chocolate game this guy is developing is coming out eventually. We have no idea when, but eventually. Alright, trading card game shop simulator. So this game, much like many of the shop simulator games that came out around the time, kind of followed this trend of being a very set thing. And I must say it straight as well, we tried to mod this game and it fucking died every time I tried. I just couldn't get it to work. So apologies to the people still waiting for the modded episode even to go out. It probably won't. But this game is like never ending. You basically just keep building and building on your card shop. You can open packs and then sell rare cards at extra profit. The game itself is very addicting. I got very, very addicted to this for a bit. Do I recommend it? I think I do. And I think I'm going to put it in good. Purely because I think the gameplay loop is very fun. I think there's definitely some effort made with the card art as well that they use. The body spray thing was funny. There might be a hint to that tomorrow. I was saying there might be a hint to that tomorrow in the ring. But yeah, it's one of those things. One of those things. But yeah, the spraying thing was good. It turned into my my new mission, just to chase down Stinky Sue or whoever it was. Every time. But yeah, I think the game itself has legs. It's just there are elements of it that I wish were better, and that's why it's going to be on the very low end of good, because also the fact that you can't actually play the trading card game that's in the game, it was a little bit shit. No beef to the developers, it's a whole other game they'd basically have to develop inside the game they've got. Fair enough. But I feel like it's a bit of a cop-out to have the cards, all of their stats, and then like other people playing the game if you then can't play it yourself. But again, that's probably my only gripe with the game. Apart from that, devs, I hope you know you've made a very cool game. I really don't like shitting on devs, so especially like indie devs. So I don't want to make that sound like a complete negative. It's something I would have loved to have seen in the game personally. So yeah, that's that. And now we have the first Overwatch update of many. So I've decided to put Overwatch updates in separately for each update. This is the segment where I bore people, go make a cup of tea now. I think that Stadium, so I played a bit of this with Flawberry and some friends off stream as well. Stadium was really fun. I think that's actually, honestly, one of the best things added to Overwatch 2 since it came out. And they also started making some very good changes from here on out, with Overwatch in general. But I think this is the last update I felt properly, like, into the game again. I haven't really felt that since Stadium came out. I haven't really played Stadium since either. But it was fun to play it for a bit. And like I said, me and Floppy had a good time with it. But yeah, I feel like I put that event, honestly, like, here. I think that sort of like helped reinvigorate my love for Overwatch a little bit, that event. And it was, again, it's good to play with people. For anyone that doesn't know what Stadium is, it was like a Coliseum game mode in Overwatch, where you had to basically try and outdo the other team by like holding a point for a certain amount of time and then pushing a cart for a certain amount of time. It was like a mix of like different mini game modes sort of thrown into a thing. It was good. It was good, and it's still in the game now. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Next up, we have Diabolic, which is a game that I had no idea was a licensed game until we started playing it. I thought this is one of Just Kill's many strange oddities, but it turns out I then realised later on most of Just Kill's games are all licensed games for the most part. So that makes a lot more sense now. Not that that's a problem. I don't think I realised that in the beginning for some reason. But Diabolic is a Italian comic series that has been made into a show semi-recently. And there are a few other like Diabolic things out there as well, I think. But this was a point-and-click adventure game on the PS2. There was a PC version, but we played the PS2 version. I don't know why. I think it was the easiest one for me to get working. But yeah, I thought this game was pretty decent. I think that overall, some of the voice lines being repeated over and over and over again drove me a bit insane at times. And some of the puzzles were a little bit unclear, purely based on, I guess, like, how complicated navigating the UI was occasionally on my part. But apart from that, again, I think that's more of a Dave problem than a game problem. But overall, I think the game and the story was interesting. And I'm going to put it on the high end of decent. So yeah, Diabolic, you can go there. Alright, Punch-Out for the Wii. So this is a game I was weirdly actually kind of decent at. I don't remember being this good at it when I played it before. But yeah, Punch-Out for the Wii is great. Like, I think I like it more than the NES and the bit of the SNES one I've played as well. There's so much character. I think the animations have held up pretty well. Obviously, with Punch-Out, we need to look past the fact that there's a lot of racial stereotypes in this game. It's not great for that. I'll be very blunt and honest with you. I do not approve of it either. But the gameplay, the mechanics, I think there's a lot of charm to it. And even though there are a few stereotypes, like stereotypical things thrown in there, they are still, I think this came out at a time where they were a little bit more aware of what you shouldn't, what you definitely shouldn't be saying compared to like the original Punch-Out. So there was at least some censorship compared to the original, which I do appreciate. But yeah, the gameplay was really fun. I had a great time with Punch-Out, and I'm actually going to put it in like Game of the Year, because this for me is a big contender. And I remember liking it when I played it before, but I had no idea I'd like it as much when we played it again, coming back to it this year. So yeah, Punch-Out for the Wii. Very good game. Very good game. A Game of the Year game, what am I talking about? Alright. Next up, we have a game that is worse than Fly Simulator. We have Drunken Dad Simulator, which is a game where you play as a giant bear, and you ruin a furry's birthday party by destroying it and being absolutely smashed off your head. This game was pretty bad. That game was so weird. It was, wasn't it? It was so weird. I think it's definitively the worst thing so far that we've listed. There wasn't really a lot to it. Sorry, also the music stopped. I will quickly see what's going on. Oh, we've gotten through all of that already. Okay, there we go. I've got my my N64 at night playlists going. Big respect to the person that's put this together. Thank you. But yeah, it was a really weird game. I have no idea who it's targeted for. It was about 15 minutes long. Go watch the simulator seminar that we did on it. It was bad. It was very, very bad. I even as like YouTuber bait, that one felt like half-assed. I don't know. Obviously, don't stop dreaming. Keep trying to make games, but yeah, that one was a particularly bad one. Unlike Bee Simulator, which felt very, very polished, weirdly. We didn't beat this game. We did beat this one. But Bee Simulator felt weirdly very, very developed. Like, there was a lot to this one, to the point where I actually think we might go back to it one day, as like giving it its own, like, stream slot, maybe? I don't know. But it was very well made. Like, you could tell there was a budget that went into it. I have no idea how accurate any of the bee lore was in it. But Bee Simulator honestly wasn't that bad. I think I'm gonna put it in the very bottom end of decent, because at least they tried to make something that felt like a game. Like, they gamified bits of being a bee for the sake of making it feel more fun. And I think that's a really good balance in a simulator game, where you've mixed fun with some genuine, what potentially being a bee might actually be like, you know what I mean? I was disappointed by Bee Simulator. I thought it would be more realistic. Yeah, that's funny. I love that. I honestly love that with simulator games. I feel like we're definitely like swerving more into the vibe of simulator games are less serious now, and I feel like the real like simulator enthusiasts hate it. They hate that Goat Simulator has basically like shunted everything to an extent. It's quite funny. But yeah, Street Fighting Simulator. I don't think this is Coronation Street, The Mystery of the Missing Hot Pot, and the The Mystery of the Missing Hot Pot recipe level are bad. I do think it's an oh no, and it very barely doesn't make it into this category though. This was like a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. Much like I've said with a lot of these other simulator games, they use very basic assets that I feel like I've seen in a bunch of these other games. And yeah, I just don't really have much of a... I don't really have much of a connection to it? Question mark? I don't know, I just didn't really feel anything about this game. It just felt very, very like... You know what, it felt like a game jam game, and that's no disrespect to like anyone that takes part in a game jam, but it felt like something that was made in a very limited amount of time, with not a lot of budget potentially put into it, right? It's great for what it is, but if we're talking about it like on a more serious note, I think it's about here, to be honest with you. I think I got it in the same bundle probably, and I thought this might actually be fun, fun simulator where you do normal bee stuff. Instead, it was a kids game. Yeah, that's totally fair. You know what? I think Callum gifted me this. Callum gifted me this. You know what? Callum gifted me Snail Simulator, so big props to Callum. That was the only good one that Callum gifted me, though. I see a pattern there. Exactly. But also, this year, okay, Callum gifted me some things at Christmas. This is a bit of a detour. Callum gets me some serious games, and then Callum gets me Callum games. Guys, for next year's simulator seminars, we can play Ship Graveyard Simulator, Bakery Simulator, Electrician Simulator, Tree Hugging Simulator, and Fast Food Simulator, which I believe me and Ranger will also be playing with Callum. And anybody else that wants to play Fast Food Sim will be doing that as like a co-op thing at some point next year. So there's a bunch of simulator games. Ship Graveyard Simulator and Tree Hugging Simulator feel like they're a bit weird. But Callum, I respect your choices, mate. I respect your choices. But yeah. So yeah. But Bee Simulator. Sorry, we're talking about this one, weren't we? Yeah, this one was. I'm saving it from being in the very bottom tier only just. But Gollum was definitely better than it. I couldn't find a picture for this one, weirdly, but this is Toilet Paper Crisis Simulator 2020. For anyone that was born yesterday, or slept through 2 years, COVID happened in 2020, and toilet paper was a problem, if people remember. And we played this really weird game where you played as a guy that we called Walter Wipe. Now Walter Wipe went around stealing people's toilet paper, but occasionally Walter Wipe's car would be invaded by the Bog Roll Bandit, which we also named the Bog Roll Bandit. And it was honestly the most fun game we played that evening, to the point where I might even put it in, like, I might even say it's like here. It's better than Super Mario. I enjoyed this more than Super Mario Bros. The internet's gonna hate me. But I think I honestly did. So, Toilet Paper Crisis Simulator 2020, props to you for actually being fun. So there we go. There we go. That's where that's gonna go. Go look it up though. It's quite a game. It's quite a game. Alright, then we have McPixel. So McPixel is I think it's like a MacGyver ripoff, but McPixel is a hero. He's trying to defuse a bomb in a very limited amount of time. I believe that's something like what MacGyver does. I could be wrong though. And you basically, it's like a point and click game where you have to try and defuse the situation quite literally before time runs out. And there's a lot of ways that you can interact with the environment around you. It's a very funny game. And it came out a while ago. I believe this was in one of the very first Humble Bundles I ever bought back in the day, along with maybe like Bastion and maybe Binding of Isaac. I feel like it's a very, very early Humble Bundle game for me, like 10 years ago or something, maybe earlier than that. So for that reason, I am going to say that this game has also held up very well since I last watched it play. I saw a playthrough on this many years ago, but I am talking 10 plus years ago. But I think it holds up pretty well. Overall, I might even put it like here. To be honest, I think McPixel's like on the higher end of good. I wouldn't say it's great, but I had a lot of fun going back to it. The puzzles were also, some of them were just stupid, a bit like Monkey Island, but some of them were actually quite good. And yeah, it's quite short as well. I think I finished it in like 4 hours. So yeah, if you want a short little puzzle game, it's kind of cute, kind of silly, go play McPixel. It's cool. Alright, oh actually I need to add on a new section here, because this will be its own segment. It's because I feel like it's unfair to put these in the same categories, but these are the Dave vs. Joel games that we played. So Dave vs. Joel, for anyone who might not know. McPixel, exactly. That's how he says it in the game as well. Oh, sorry, McPixel. Sorry, I can't read. He does say it like that in the game though. McPixel. But yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, me and Joel do a Dave vs. Joel every year. It's like a little stream where we play a bunch of games versus each other. It's very fun. Big love to boy Joel. I love that guy. Big love because he's a tall dude as well. Joel's like, I honestly look like a hobbit next to Joel. It's so funny. But anyway, Dave vs. Joel games. So I'm not going to be ranking these based on how well I did. I'm just going to rank them in terms of how good they were as games to play for Dave vs. Joel. Some of them were new this year. Some of them were returning games. So let's get into it. So Gang Beasts I think is a good go-to. It's a fun little like beat 'em up game. It's like a knockout game. You play as weird little like jelly bean lads and you hit each other. what more can I say? Gang Beast is old reliable. It's a good time. It's good stuff. I love it a lot. Multiplayer platform golf honestly might be my favorite golf game at the moment. It's golf with your friends, except you have to literally platform and run over to the next like hole and like platform your way around the map and then hit the ball. I'm amazed more people haven't played this because I think there's a lot to this game. And I wish, honestly, I feel like this might be a fun thing to do with the community at some point. So if anybody's interested in like a golf evening, I would highly recommend this, and I think it's a little bit better than Gang Beasts. So yeah. Then we have Shell Shock Live, which is kind of like Worms but with tanks. Pretty good. Pretty good game. I remember not liking it as much as Worms, and I think I still kind of sit in that camp. But if you want something that's like visually very different to Worms but kind of its own thing, Shell Shock Live still pretty good. It still serves a similar purpose. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. But again, I think I prefer Worms a tiny bit. Then we have Straftat, which I honestly... Okay, if you guys want a deathmatch shooter, this might be my favourite deathmatch shooter at the moment. I really like this game. It's a small arena deathmatch shooter. It's free to play on Steam. And honestly, really fun. Like, again, this is another thing I think would be fun with like a big group of people. Go check it out. It's really, really good. Me and Joel will definitely be playing. I don't know about Shell Shock, but me and Joel will be definitely playing these two again next year, because I feel like they're sort of at the top of our lists for our favourites. But yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator is an amazing game. I love it. I have 140 hours. I don't want to talk about it. But I honestly think like Straftat's even better than this game. In the competitive setting, I think Tabs works very well. We play Horse, which is like a first person to lose 5 times and spell out the word horse with each letter. Is the loser, and whoever isn't a horse, they win. It's very good. Tabs is very silly. It's very stupid. But I think it works very well. I think this one worked the best out of the lot, but Tabs is old reliable. Actually, you know what? I think Golf worked a bit better than Tabs, so I'm going to do that. And then Binding of Isaac. I'm going to be honest with everybody. This game, for me, would easily be great somewhere up here. But for this format, I don't think it was very good. No beef to me or Joel, please. We both respectively like this game, but I think that for me, it's just very much a thing of, I don't think trying to do a competitive who can get the furthest in 10 minutes run was a very fun thing to try and do when the other games have been solely things that we physically compete against with. So I think that's just a bit of a learning curve for us, but I think Isaac was probably the weakest round in my opinion out of the things we played. And then finally we have the decider, which is Wordle, which is very funny. I think Wordle might come back, so I think much like Gang Beasts, it's more likely to come back than not. But Wordle was actually pretty funny. As a game, Wordle's fine. I don't really have a lot more to say than that. But yeah, anyway, that's the Dave vs. Joel list. These are the, in order of the games I like the most from Dave vs. Joel. And again, I thought it'd be a little bit weird for it to come back as like a thing. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna add a separate category for Stardew as well, because I feel like the rest of these have kind of been like playthroughs, and I feel like let's say Bunker Break. That's what these streams were, right? They were Bunker Break streams. So Bunker Break. So we can judge all of those as well. If we do that, what happens? That happens. Okay, noted. Cool. Team Fortress 2. So these will be all of my usual yapping streams, most likely. Team Fortress 2 is great. We played it with Pedro a few times on stream as well. But yeah, I really love TF2. It's one of those games for me where it's very much a comfort game. I could come back to it as many times within a year and still have a great time with it and have the same nostalgia I had for it ages ago. Yeah, I don't really have a bad thing to say. I also just really love that the community maps still keep coming out. I'm very happy that Valve are at least doing something with it. Obviously it's community-led, not Valve-led, but you know what I mean. I don't know, I think even just for like hanging out with Pedro, I had such a good time that... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like TF2 is an easy Game of the Year contender. But I feel like it's always going to be up there. I feel like TF2 should be like a benchmark for Game of the Year. So I should compare everything to TF2 and see where it stands there, you know what I mean? But yeah. Alright, Undertale. Oh boy. Okay, so we haven't finished our playthrough of Undertale yet, so I feel bad for not fully ranking it, but we have finished a pacifist run. And back in 2016, I did a playthrough of Undertale. I did the pacifist run for the first time, and I loved it. And it became one of my favourite games back then. I replayed it this year, and it still is one of my favourite games. I love it. I think that this game helped redefine what an indie turn-based RPG could be. I know there were other games out there that were doing similar, but Undertale very much helped push the way for things being a bit more quirky again. It very much, I mean, it breathes... We wouldn't have Undertale without Mother 3 and Earthbound, basically. But there's a lot of that energy within it. And I think that Undertale is a great game, and it's aged very, very well. I haven't played Deltarune yet. I would absolutely love to play it when I get the chance. But yeah, Undertale, what a cool game. What a cool game. I cannot say more than that without spoiling it. But I think because these three are so definitively top 5 for me, I have to put Undertale here. It kind of hurts me to do that, but it's still in Game of the Year. It's still a contender for Game of the Year. But yeah, Undertale, very good game. In fact, it's a Game of the Year game. I don't know why I keep saying it's very good when it's very clearly above very good. But yeah. But this, on the other hand, is a very good game. This is going to be Kiosk. This goes here. Kiosk was really good. It's a little indie horror simulator kitchen simulator, where you run like a little kiosk. You have to serve customers. You get little stories from the characters that like come and visit you. It reminds me a lot of what the fuck was the name of that game? It was where Bleremy originated from. Bite Night, that's what it's called. So Bite Night, where you play as this guy that's running like a gas station, and they're being haunted by a vampire that turns out to be a stupid vampire, and that's where our character from Vampire the Masquerade comes from, Bleremy. Which we named him Bleremy in that game. I don't think he was officially called Bleremy, but it became our headcanon. And then it stuck, which is fun. But for Kiosk, the gameplay was really funny, but it also felt very smooth and well thought through. The interactions were very interesting. The sense of horror was very good with this game. I really liked it. I thought it was very good. So Kiosk gets a good. Yeah. Season 17. I think this must have been... Actually, I reckon... I'm gonna say Bunker Break and / Friends. So I reckon I played most of these with friends as well. I'm gonna move Stadium down to here. Why not? Why not? But yeah, I feel like this season 17 was not as good as Stadium, just because Stadium was so redefining for the game. This one felt quite weak compared, but it was still like a good. I'd say it's still like an easy like good out of 10. But yeah. And then we have another bunker break. We have Mage Arena. So Mage Arena itself as a game, I'd probably put at like, I'd probably put in meh, or maybe the very bottom of decent, because the game itself is very, very visually, it's good in places, but it's also very all over the place in others, and I wasn't sure what to make of it. For anyone that doesn't know, this is a game where to cast spells, you had to physically shout the words to the spell to make it conjure. So you had to shout fireball, for example, and then you would shoot a fireball. It's like a friend slop game, I guess is probably the best way to play. Actually, you know what, I'm gonna get rid of this category. I take back everything I've said about that category. I'm gonna go back to what I was doing before. I think that's probably how I'd rank that. Stadium I said was like here. And then I'll put you in like, I'd say you're like here. Okay. Where was I? Mage Arena. Yeah, the end of decent, because I just feel like let me double check quickly. Has that game had any updates? It must have done, but like, has it had much going on? It looks like they hadn't done anything since we played it in August. It looks like there were in a few like small updates, and then he's announced Mage Arena 2, which is fine. You know, it makes sense to try and go on to the new thing, but I feel like for the people who've already bought your game, it's not very good to immediately try and make a sequel. I could be wrong about that, but I don't know how I feel about that as a business practice. Anyway, I think the game was fun. I'm going to put it at the end of decent, because I think I wish there was a bit more to it. It was quite limiting what there was in the game when it came out. But yeah, it definitely wasn't too meh. Yeah. Where does Coronation Street go? Game of the Year? We'll get to that one, Ranger. We'll get to that one. It definitely doesn't have its own tab. For a reason. That's fine, we'll get to it. We will get to it. Moving on from that gold. Speaking of gold, The Road to El Dorado, Golden Glory, was a Monkey Island inspired point and click game for the PS1. I think it was for PC as well, but we played it on PS1. And honestly, it had a bit of charm to it. I really like The Road to El Dorado as a movie. It's very good. And yeah, it was fun to rewatch it and play this. I think that there's a lot of charm to it. I will say the functionality was arse on the controller. I'm sure playing mouse and keyboard would have been infinitely better for me, and I kind of wish that I did. So a bit like Diabolic, I think I'm going to give it like the high end of decent, purely because it would get higher if I played it on a different bit of hardware. But it was honestly pretty decent for what it was. It wasn't bad. Especially compared to like some of these other things as well. I think that was like it was pretty good. It was pretty decent. But something that's much better than decent is Inscription. Inscription has been, I will just flat out say it's been great so far. I need to be very honest with people. It's not going to go there, don't worry. I'm just talking. I don't know how I feel about Act 2 so far. We've only played a tiny bit on stream. We've yet to play the rest. I haven't loved Act 2. I don't actually like the tone change very much, personally, but I might learn to love it. I'm not going to dismiss it completely yet. But Inscription Act 1 was so good. I think Act 1 might be my favourite part of that game in general. It might continue to be the only bit of the game I really like, as much as I do. But purely off of the back of Act 1, I'm going to put Inscription, like, I might even put it above Vampire the Masquerades. No, I will actually. It's a bit above Vampire the Masquerade for me. It's been absolutely phenomenal so far. But who knows, it might go down to lower next year, because we'll be finishing it in 2026, so I should say as well, any games we haven't finished yet, like Undertale and Inscription, these will come back next year on the tier list. And if I feel differently about, for example, the Genocide run, when we beat that for Undertale, or the other acts of Inscription, then who knows, it might go down. But for now, Act 1 alone and a bit of Act 2, the best in the great category for sure. Inscription number 1, hell yeah. Oh, actually, sorry, we just found a game to dethrone it. Sorry, my bad. Actually, you know what? No, I actually think people might think I'm insane for this. Another really fun stream memory we've had this year was playing Peak on stream. I would like to fully invite and announce we should definitely play more of this on stream. I would love to play more of this, or do community events with this. I love this game so much so that I think this is going to be potentially, I think this might be my game of 2025, like genuinely. Obviously not stream game, but my actual game of 2025 that came out this year that I've played. Peak is great. I think Peak is so incredibly good. Aggro Crab are a company, or like a dev team that I've been following since Going Under, which is their roguelike hack and slash game that they made before this. I love that game as well. But Peak has been honestly peak. To the point where I might even say it's better than like Stardew Valley for me. Like, it really, I am saying Peak is peak. Yeah. But and now you actually said it exactly. See, Florby, you read my mind. There it is. Great minds think alike, right? But Peak, honestly, one of my favorite games at the moment. I have loved it. I think it's so fun. As I say, hopefully more folks will get it, and we can play more of it in the new year as a community. I would absolutely love that. Even if it's just me, Florby, Jamie, and J Boogie again, I'm sure it'll be a great time. But yeah, I love it. I think it's so good. It's so good. And I think it's very deserving to be as, I hope, you know, the dev team, though, they deserve to be as successful as they are, because, I don't know, the effort put into it, very cool. Very cool. And they seem like a lovely bunch over there as well. But yeah. Alright, time for Auto Modelista. The game itself, I've got to admit, is probably meh for me. If we're talking about it strictly from like a gameplay perspective, visually, it would be bumped up to a decent. Music would bump it up to at least like maybe here. But a genuine highlight for me this year was us having to change car. So for anyone who doesn't know, this was a racing game. I don't like racing games. I don't like cars. They do not interest me at all. But it's a racing game. And we named a really shit-looking car Sloth as a bit of a joke. Sloth ended up not being very functional, and Justkill was in chat, and Justkill gave a very like funny coach arc where he pretended to be a coach. He changed like his name color and everything, and it ended up becoming a bit. And we ended up making a new car. The coach like then gave us his blessing, and then we won the final race after that. And it was a very like very heartfelt like thing. Weirdly, I felt like it was a very funny bit and very memorable. I think purely because of the stream moment and its stream like relevance, I think it's gonna go here. So well done, Justkill, for single-handedly carrying a bit of this playthrough. Just by being funny in chat. I feel like, should I just thank Justkill in chat for this? I feel like J Boogie, Pedro, Floor, Just Kill, Ranger, anybody that's here frequently, thank you for like carrying all of these game playthroughs and making them good, because me on my own, I wouldn't be able to do that, so thank you. But yeah, I think that, honestly, Auto Modelista goes about there. It was a pretty decent game overall. It's pretty decent. Overwatch Season 8. Sorry, 18. I don't really remember a lot about what changed here. I think I enjoyed it a lot more, though. I think Wu Yang was a pretty good addition. So I'm going to put it, like, here. I don't think it's as good as Kiosk, but it's still pretty good. It's better than that update, that's for sure. Then we have Thief Simulator, where we invented another OC in what do we call them? I've forgotten what we called him. It was something Tim. I remember that. We made like an OC. He ran around, he thieved, he saw, he conquered. He did pretty well. The game itself was actually pretty functional and quite fun. And there's a second one out. I have no idea how good it is, but as far as simulators go, this one's pretty good. Maybe not good though. I'm gonna actually say this is probably the most decent game we played this year so far. Out of the decent list, I think Thief Simulator goes at the top. So yeah. You know what game doesn't go at the top? Michigan Report from Hell. I actually think this might be... These games are bad, but at least they're short. Michigan Report from Hell is bad, and it has the indecency of being like 6 hours long. And not only that, it controls like arse. It has the audacity to be a PS2 game. They probably charged you so much money for this back in the day. Michigan Report from Hell is awful. Like, actually an awful game. This was gonna win worst game of the year until Coronation Street came along. But Michigan Report from Hell was also very bad. Apologies to anyone that likes this game. I thought it was shit. Like, absolute shit. The dialogue was terrible. There's so much, like, misogyny in it that it hurts. It hasn't aged very well. I didn't like it at all. So yeah, Michigan Report from Hell. Please go back to hell. And stay at the very bottom of bad. Thank you very much. Next up, a game that isn't bad. It's Alan is Isolated, the game. Alien Isolation. I just want to say, I'm not a big horror game guy, but this might genuinely be one of the best horror games I've ever played, if not the best one. I have never felt more scared playing a horror game than I have with this one. We're quite near the end of it, we haven't finished it yet, but my god, what a good game. What a great game, in fact. I might even say it's the greatest game out of this bunch. There you go, I said it. Alien Isolation is phenomenal. And I just want to remind people, if you look at the visuals of that game and you think, oh, that looks really nice actually. 2014 it came out. 2014. Insane. More like 11 years old, and it looks... The game itself looks not like... It's like that Gandalf meme where he's like, he goes to Bilbo's house and he's like, you haven't aged a day. That's me with this game. Like, it doesn't feel like it looks... It doesn't look withered at all. It doesn't play badly. It's very good. It's very well done. But yeah, very good. It doesn't quite make it into Game of the Year, but it's great. It's really, really good. This, on the other hand, is the best game. No, I'm joking. I've got to admit, we played a bit of Five Nights at Freddy's. I was terrified playing it. I hate jump scares, so this game is the worst for me. Jump scares and everything aside, I think the whole franchise and everything is okay at best. I don't love it. I'm going to put it in meh, purely just so I have a benchmark for what meh looks like at the moment, because we don't have a meh. I don't think it's a bad game, but you know what? I'm gonna put meh as mid. I feel like actually no, mid implies that it's like dead middle. I think this is a bit worse than that. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand why this became the big thing. I guess is the issue I've got. I'm amazed at how popular this became. I don't know. It's not for me, guys. It's not for me, I'm sorry. Luigi's Mansion, on the other hand. Luigi's Mansion 2. Oh. I'm telling you now, there's not a single Luigi's Mansion game that is lower than being in great. Whereabouts do I put this on great, though? That's difficult. I will say, playing the co-op mode with J-Boogie was a lot of fun as well, so thank you, J-Boogie. We haven't finished this game either, but I have played Dark Moon many years ago on 3DS, and I liked it a lot, and that's what this one is a remaster of. It's been fun to go back to it. I still think this is better. Sorry, I think this game is worse than Luigi's Mansion 2. Sorry, Luigi's Mansion 1 and 3. I think it's the weakest one for me. But other than that, I think I'd put Luigi's Mansion 2, like, I'd still probably put it... Oh, do I make it the greatest? I don't know, actually. I think Alien's a bit better. I think Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is still very good, though. If not, very great. I need to stop saying very good when we've got defined categories. But Luigi's Mansion 2 is great. Again, I think 1 and 3 would make it into Game of the Year for me. I love 1. I have so much nostalgia for it, and 3 is phenomenal. But yeah, I'll put it there. Rory, thank you so much for the sub, mate. That's so kind. Thank you so much, dude. I've really got to get some sleep. Have a nice rest of your stream, guys. No worries. Take care, mate. Have some good sleep. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. I'll see you soon. And if you've got work tomorrow, I hope everything is okay. I had to double check today, by the way. I had no idea it was Sunday. We're currently in that, like, window of Christmas, or, like, post-Christmas, where I have no idea what day it is anymore. So I realised that tomorrow people might be going back to work. So I'm sorry if you are. I'm sending you my love. But yeah, Luigi's Mansion 2, very, very great, though. Still the very high end of great. I also love that Luigi's Mansion 2 is wedged between two very creepy games. That's quite funny to me. It's very on brand, though. Speaking of creepy, Frog Legs, which was a horror game / Doom shooter. I thought this game was cute and fun, but I probably wouldn't put it... You know, I'm going to move Major Arena down to meh, I've decided. I'm going to put Frog Legs, like, here, maybe. It was about 40 minutes long. It was very cheap, honestly. It was very cute. But it was basically... the frogs from Frogger accidentally get their friend killed. While playing Frogger. They then run away to the 3D realm, or the third dimension, to get away from everything. It then cuts to you being in like a 3D Unreal Engine game. It turns into a horror game briefly. It then turns into a Doom shooter. And then that's it. It ends pretty quickly after that. It's quite fun. It's quite fun. It's short. It's concise. I thought it was cute. I'm gonna put it there. Enough said. Enough said. Alright, next up we got Dead by Daylight, which we played with Callum, Milky, and Pedro. Leon S. Kennedy wasn't spotted this year, but in previous years he has been spotted. I had a great time with this. I had a lot of fun playing with those guys, and I would love to play more Dead by Daylight, to be honest with you. I feel like this is a game that's very good with having like a little gang. Like a little gang of you to play with. Where would I put it? I'd probably put Dead by Daylight like in the mid of good. It's a very solid good game, I think. Mechanically it's very fun. I think the multiplayer has a good like reach and a good draw for like keeping you engaged. and I'd be very happy to go back to it. But yeah. Fucking hell. Alright, we're nearly at Coronation Street, guys. Bear with. Speaking of going back to it. Sorry, not going back to it. I should correct myself. Mr. Bean. So, the Mr. Bean game is pretty bad. Mr. Bean as a show is amazing. The Mr. Bean game felt very tacky. It felt very half-assed. I still have nightmares and I hear some of the music in my head sometimes. Overall, I do not love this game. I do not think it's very good. I think it's actually a bit better than the rest here, though. Honestly, part of me is thinking, do I put it in oh no? But I think... I don't know, actually. I think the ending was so overwhelming and mobile game energy that I'm going to have to put it in Coronation Street level. But it's probably, like, the least bad of the bad. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Next up we have Giraffe Town, which is a very weird psychological Silent Hill horror game about a giraffe who needs to find love. And it's a platformer, I think. Oh no, it's a platformer, but it's also a balance game, question mark. Overall, I actually thought this game was quite good. I'd put it like... I put it in like mid-decent. There was actually quite a bit to that game in the end. It was one of these games that was intentionally a bit jank. And it was very creepy at times, to be honest with you. I was actually quite scared at certain moments of the game. So it did its job properly. Like, it felt disturbing. I wouldn't say it's any higher than here, though. But yeah. And then, oh god, we're in a really bad game territory now. I think Michigan's a bit worse than this, but Shrek Swamp Kart Speedway was very bad. Like, not as, like, bad as these two, or these three. But it was, my god, it was visually very annoying to look at. My eyes hurt playing that game. Like, hurt playing that game. And I just hated, like, there was none of the levels felt very Shrek themed. The music was on loop for what felt like forever. I hated it. I thought it was absolutely diabolical, and not this kind of diabolic. Awful game. Awful game. Next up, I'm sure you can hear my voice going, by the way, so apologies, everybody. We're in the home stretch now, though. Next up, we have Nightmare in the Dark, which was an arcade game that J-Boogie made me aware of. The Shrek kart music was terrible. It was really bad, wasn't it? It was, like, really, really bad. It was so bad. But yeah, Nightmare in the Dark. I really like this. This was an arcade game. J-Boogie made me aware of it when he was looking up Halloween games for stream. Actually really cool. I love the visual style of it. I thought that the enemies and stuff were cool. The 16-bit sprites and the music really, again, sold it for me. I feel like a lot of arcade games do that very well. I was not very good at the game, and we needed to have a lot of, like, continues to stay afloat. But we made it to the end. I had a really good time with it. Yeah, I think we should try and play a few more arcade games next year, maybe, as, like, One Stream Wonders or something. That could be fun. But yeah, overall, I thought this game was pretty good. I'm gonna put it, like... Honestly, I might put it in, like, the high end of good. I might put it, like... I'll put it, like, here. It's pretty good. Oh god, okay, here we go. Coronation Street. And the mystery of the missing hot pot recipe. Now, if you couldn't already tell by the name of the tag I'm about to put it in, this was the worst game of 2025. I want to congratulate Jamie for picking this one out. Awful. I know nothing about this show. On top of that, I don't think I ever want to play a hidden object game again because of this game. The infamous line I would like to remind people of is the fact that the game asks you to find certain objects in each like board you're given, or each stage. This one stage was telling us to look for cans of beans, and because the top of a top hat is vaguely shaped like the top of a tin of beans, it decided to say that, oh, if you click the top hat, oh look at that, it's the same shape as it's the same shape as the top, as like a can of beans, right? So therefore, that counts. That counts as one of the items you're looking for. Infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. I couldn't. That game was so bad. I'm so glad it's over. Fucking hell. Well done, Jamie, you win. And then second goes to J Boogie and third goes to Just Kill. So, congrats on having the... We need like the bad game podium every year. Who nominates the worst games of the year. Like, I'm not going to commend the people that pick the good games, but the people that pick the bad games, oh boy. Oh heckin' boy. But yeah, go watch the VOD though if you haven't, it's very funny. Next up we have Wild Bastards. So these are now, some of these are now going to be Jingle Jam games. Some of them are part of the collection, some of them weren't. I finished Wild Bastards off stream. I actually thought it was pretty good. It's a roguelike shooter. It's you end up having to like reassemble this like set of like cowboy outlaws from space. It's a bit like Star Wars meets like what was the name of that like Adult Swim show that people compared it to? It's something channel. I forgot. I think J Boogie and Juska were comparing it to something, but I've forgotten what the show was called. It had like the Mantis guy in it. I've forgotten what it's called. But yeah, I think style-wise, as voice acting, it's a pretty well-made game. I'm gonna put it in like the higher end of good. Space Ghost, that's it. Yeah, it's very Space Ghosty. But yeah, it was actually pretty good, and I believe it's made by the people that made Void Bastards. I have no idea how good that game is, but this game's pretty good. This game's pretty good. So I'm gonna put that there. And I haven't played much of Tactical Breach Wizard, so I can't really feel confident on voting for where it would go necessarily. I'm gonna put it in the high end of good though. You know, I'm gonna give it the same score as Wild Bastards, but say it's a bit better because I think I like this one a little bit more. It's like XCOM and fights in tight spaces, but you're a wizard with a gun. That's all you need to know. It's very good. Next up we have Minecraft. So we've been doing a Minecraft Christmas server and playthrough to an extent. It's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. I love Minecraft. I think that's again easily a top 10 game for me, so I don't know where I'd put this, but I think I'd probably put Minecraft like here. It's really good. There's so much replay value, modding, everything. I could go on about it, but I won't. I love Minecraft. It's so good. I don't love the Polar Express though. In terms of the game itself, the Polar Express game wasn't a bad one. To the point where I might actually make this the new reigning champion of Oh No. But it's a licensed PS2 game. I don't really know what to say. It feels a bit soulless at times. It isn't the best. We 100%ed it as well, so maybe I'm just a bit jaded. But yeah. Overall, I don't know. I don't think I'd give it meh. I think I'd give it like... I think I'd give the actual film that. But the game, probably a bit lower. Probably a bit lower. Santa's Rampage, for serial cleanup detail. So we played this with Ali and Joel. As is tradition. Joel was the overseer this year because he couldn't get the game to work. I honestly love the serial cleanup detail. The base game would get great. I think this game would get a good. I will put the serial cleanup detail like... Honestly, maybe even like here. It's very good. I don't know, I have a thing about cleaning games. I don't know what it is. I just find it very therapeutic. Actually, no. This game compared to, I don't know. No, I'll keep it there. I'll keep it there. Again, I would like to remind everyone that these are the games that are better than the original Super Mario Bros. Please bear that in mind for when you come and lynch me. Very cool. Don't worry, Elf the Movie the Game is not better than it. It's a pretty bad one. Elf the Movie the Game is the stinker that keeps on stinking. I think it's actually not, I don't know if it's because I've played it so many times at this point or not, but I don't actually think it's as bad as these games. I think these games are worse. But it's still pretty bad. But yeah, Elf the Movie the Game, not a fan. Not a fan. A game I am a fan of is Tower Unite. It's made by the people that made Gmod Tower back in the day, which is like a Garry's Mod game mode. And it's like a life sim slash social lobby slash way to play games with friends really easily. It's really fun. I actually want to do a I didn't announce this earlier, but when I said I was cutting back on committing to various long playthroughs, I think that's also because I want to fill some of the time with community-led events and just doing more chilled out things on games like Tower Unite. So Tower Unite is perfect. I actually want to do a lot of publicity for this game because I think it has so much potential and I wish more people knew about it. So Tower Unite, I'm going to put you about there, I think, because I think this game is very, very, very good. It was part of the Jingle Jam game collection this year as well, just how I've played it. It's very cool. It's very cool. There's a lot to do in it. There's a lot to do. But yeah. Dungeons of Hinterberg. I feel like if I played more of this game, this would very easily be a game of the year for me. So, on the pretense I didn't play much of it, I'm gonna put it with Tower Unite, just because I feel like at the moment I don't have a leg to stand on with this one, but I honestly think I could see myself playing that and loving it. So Dungeons of Hinterberg, again in the game collection, very fucking cool. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Then we have post-Christmas things. We have Nights into Dreams Christmas episode. I've got to admit, I really like Nights into Dreams. The Christmas episodes, for what it is fine. It's very cute. There's a little, like, animatic that happens at the end and the start, which is fun. I think, purely to be fair, I'm going to give it the very end of decent. Otherwise it going meh, because there's really not a lot to it. But, I thought it was still cute, though. I thought it was still cute. And then we have Santa Claus in Trouble. I don't think this game is bad, necessarily. It's definitely meh, though. I think this might be king of the meh. It's a remake from of a 2002 game, which is just Santa Claus in Trouble. It does feel very mobile gamey by today's standards, but considering it came out in 2002, I've got to give it some props, I guess. It also just feels like a pretty funny Christmas game. I kind of get why people like it. It's one of those, right? It's one of those games. I get it. I get it. Oh no, but this isn't post-Christmas, sorry. This is just after Jingle Jam. Cool. And then next up, we've already come up to these, which is insane, but we have the 2 Power Wash DLCs that I played with Ranger, and then we have the Overwatch session that we did the other day. I'll start with the Ice Rink. The Ice Rink was pretty fun. I'd probably say it's like the low end of good, because it's not a very big level, but it's still pretty cute. The fact they still did a DLC last year for Christmas, even though the new Power Wash game came out this year, is pretty good of them. They could have just waited, but they didn't, so I respect that a lot. But yeah, I don't know. It's Power Wash Simulator. It's just pretty good. Enough said. And in the same vein, I think I'd give the Christmas DLC a great for Santa's Workshop. I think I gave it a lower score last year, but I think considering how big the Santa's Workshop one is, and how replayable it is as well, and how fun that is, I think it's a pretty solid Christmas thing to return to on a yearly basis. So I'm very happy to give that a grade, even if it does wind me the fuck up sometimes. It's doing something right. I'm enjoying it. And then finally, we have Season 20 of Overwatch 2. I've not really played this enough to judge it. Vendetta has been added, and I don't like playing as them much, so I don't really feel like I've got a leg to stand on. I'm gonna put it like here. I think that's fine. And there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done. We have made the tier list of 2025. This is everything we played on the stream. So, Game of the Year, I think purely due to its longevity, is going to Baldur's Gate 3. It would be Mother 3, but I think that this is definitely my Game of the Year. Here's to 2026. Thank you so much for watching today, guys, for both segments of the stream as well. If anybody has any questions about the changes I mentioned earlier, please go and message in the cord. But yeah, we played a lot of games, right? It's crazy when I look at it. It's surprising we played this many, you know. But I don't know. I haven't really got anything bad to say about this year. I absolutely loved playing even some of the bad ones. It was they were so bad they made me angry, but I loved the streams themselves. They were so fun. And thank you so much again for being part of them. It's been great. But yeah, that's gonna be it. We're gonna call it here. I'll leave you with this so you can have a little look at the list. But that's gonna be it for me as well. I'm gonna go to bed. Oh, I'm really EP as well, so that's good timing. But yeah, I think this is pretty fair. I think Mr. Bean again could have been higher. I think that maybe a few other games could have been a bit higher, but overall I'm very happy with this list, and I can't wait to see what gets added next year. Again, just to clarify, Undertale, Alien Isolation, Luigi's Mansion, Inscription, all of which haven't actually finished yet. We'll be playing those in January 1st, and then once they're done, we'll be taking into effect the new system. So, do not panic. January's got to happen yet, and then we'll get on with whatever's next. But thank you very much for watching and for being here today, guys. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, JBoogie. Thank you, Flawberry. Thank you, Ranger. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, anybody else that's popped by and lurked today. I appreciate you. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for a very, very, very special WWE end of the year tournament. I will see you then. Stay tuned, and remember, any of you competing in the ring tomorrow, better watch out. Better watch out. He's coming. I don't mean me. I mean like the one of the many atrocities we played against. I mean Mr. Blobby, okay? Mr. Blobby's coming for you all. That's all I'm saying. He's gonna get you. But yeah. Anyway, have a good one, guys. Take care. I'll see you in a bit. Bye bye.